Hello, so today I'm bringing you the absolute excitement of another video. I'm sure you can hardly contain yourself, so I will do what I can to make it as interesting as possible. I probably won't, if I'm honest, but I'll probably just blabber on a little bit. But anyway, this video, because, I mean, let's face it, what is the point of the video? I'm sure you're asking yourselves. The video is about my new book, which is called Beneath the Whispers, as you can see there. That is me. Cunningly, it's got my name on the front, which I always find is a good place to put it because then people know who it's by. So that's great. Anyway, enough of this tomfoolery. So this is a novella, which is to say it's a shorter book. You can tell that by the spine and the fact of the lack of pages in it. So it's about 145 pages within the fine cover that is here, and it's has been very nicely done, if I have to say myself, although it wasn't me that did it. So thank you to Erin for sorting this out. I mean, it looks pretty wonderful inside. Just give you another picture, if you will. What can I say? I like trees. I mean, don't judge me. I don't think that's a bad thing. To be in touch with nature, it's a very important thing. So that's good. The only apology is there. There's my ugly face on the back, so apologies for that. So be careful that your kids don't get hold of this. I don't want to scare anyone. I don't want to bring nightmares. Possibly around Halloween, it might be a good time to bring it out. So why not do that? Okay, enough blabbering. What is this book about? How did I come to write it? What are the influences? What was I trying to do? Blah de blah de blah, and so on and so forth. Okay, many moons ago, probably 12, 13, maybe 14 years ago, when the internet was still a relatively new thing, you had a dial-up. It made funny little sounds that sounded a bit like R2-D2 was drunk. Basically, you'd wait for hours waiting for the screen to stop flickering. Then, of course, someone would pick up the telephone, completely cut you off. But that's besides the point. Despite popular belief of my kids, the world was not in black and white when I was younger and before the internet. So that's a bit of a revelation, a bit of a shocker, if you will. But there you go. So the book that this is based on was actually a short story called Mary Ann, surrounded same guy, same girl. The difference being, it went off on a little bit more of a sinister path. Scott, when he met Mary Ann, actually followed her into the woods. They went back to her cottage that she was sharing with her friend. I'd love to give you her name. I cannot actually remember. Getting old. It's probably in there somewhere. Who knows? Now it transpires that something has happened, and this is something to do with a guy at the local shop called Jed, not to be confused by Jez, who is, of course, the star of a lot of my other books. So Scott is then told to go and retrieve a photograph of evidence of something that's happened between Jed and the two girls. And it basically goes off upon that path in quite a dark, twisted way. The book's not very long, and so what I wanted to do was rewrite that and recreate it. I set out to just basically edit it, bring it a little bit more up to date. See my writing style, I'd like to say it improved a little bit by then, so I wanted to smooth out all the rough edges and make it a bit better. However, what I ended up doing was completely rewriting it. And like I say, it was only Scott and Mary Ann that remained. The characters were in it, within it. So I no longer wanted to call it Mary Ann, basically because I thought, I could actually redo the short story at a later stage. So that is something that I will probably do. So thank you to everyone on my Facebook page. And in my group, because I actually put up the synopsis of this book and actually asked people to come up with a title, and Beneath the Whispers was the most voted for title, so I went with that. So what is Beneath the Whispers? What is it about? So this is about relationships. It's a dark tale. It's possibly something that people can relate to. It's the difference between having trying to relive your childhood sweetheart relationship, which Scott has with Marianne from when they were children. Back before a boy and a girl could be friends, and no one asked any questions. That friendship developed into romance and into a full blown relationship. Marianne went off to university, and Scott went off on his life doing a separate thing. He at some point met Genevieve, and she was completely different to Marianne. She came from a very affluent family. She came from the top end. She liked the best. She wanted the best. She needed the best. And Scott always felt like he was never quite good enough, but he enjoyed the excitement of trying to be what she wanted. So the whole book surrounds Scott walking through the woods, contemplating the two relationships really as he meets Marianne again for the first time in years. He's drawn between those two, the safe, wonderful first time relationship he had with Marianne, the things they shared together for the first time, the wants, the needs, that sort of that tenderness. But that is against the excitement, the living on the edge, the high passion that he feels with Genevieve. And it's really him asking himself what it is he wants. Not to mention the fact that, Genevieve is actually cheated on him. Cheated on him with his with a guy who he didn't really like anyway. But there's still something there. There's something that he wants to chase, and it is all about the chase for him. He's not really thinking long term. It's pure excitement, pure adrenaline rush. And then there are other twists and turns within it. So what's happening? What's the whispers? What will he find out about himself that will really make him wonder where he should go? So that's it really in a nutshell. In my true style, it's more complicated than that. It's a psychological thriller, but there's mystery about it. There's a darkness to it. I think there's also kind of a tenderness with the relationships that Scotty has, that he comes to realise he has. And there are other people along the way, of course. So that's it. Paperback is available now. The ebook is actually available on the 8th of March. You can pre-order now. I'm very proud of the book. I very much like to go into relationships of people. I like to think about what they feel, why they feel, what it leads to, what it makes them do. I think there can be a lot of passion and decision making that's very knee-jerk, straight away, that we do without really thinking about why we do it. And I hope this explores it, whilst perhaps giving you an ending that you might not notice. Who knows? So anyway, I'll shut up now because nobody wants to hear anymore. And yes, I'll speak to you soon. Take care.